In this tutorial I'm going to show you how to install the draft launcher, as you might have guessed by now. Let's first of all have a look at why you want to install that. So with a normal boot of the Remarkable, you are booting right into a software called qtcreator, which is the default Remarkable UI with all your documents, your settings, and so on. With the draft launcher, however, you're booting into draft, and a launcher basically, well, it's a program to launch other programs. So you can choose to launch qtcreator if you want the default UI. You also can choose to go into a terminal called fingerterm, or you can basically execute any program you want on the Remarkable. One important thing before I start, the Qt framework has changed in 1.8, so everything I am going to show you requires 1.7 or below. So the roadmap for today: first of all, we will have to clone the necessary repos from GitHub. Then we will install a toolchain which allows us to cross-compile for the Remarkable. After that, we will install and set up a software called qtcreator, which we'll need for compiling and deploying. Then we will deploy the actual draft launcher. After that, we will change service settings so that we are booting into draft instead of qtcreator. Then we will deploy some optional tools, which are button capture and fingerterm. And last but not least, we will set up the fingerterm, well, the draft config, so that fingerterm can be exited the same way as qtcreator. So let's get going. First of all, go to the Remarkable Git repo. From there, you go to Awesome Remarkable, and then you scroll all the way down. You'll find launchers, and there's Draft Remarkable. From there, we will clone that repo, and we will clone quite a few repos, and they will make other folders. So let's just make a new directory here and call it rm draft and cd into there. And now we can clone the whole thing. So clone draft, that's done. And then we have the two optional ones, this one, button capture, and the fingerterm terminal. So let's clone them as well. Just clone that, git clone, clone that, and git clone that. Next thing we need to have is qtcreator. How you install that obviously depends on your distribution. In my case, I'm using Archlinks with Yay, so I can just do Yay qtcreator. And there we go. At the bottom one in the extra repository, we have qtcreator, so let's just install that. And we're done. So we are done with step 1 here. We cloned that. We installed qtcreator. We didn't set it up yet, but that's alright that way. So next we need the toolchain. How do we get that? So, well, there is a link here to a Reddit post, and in this post there is a link to the wiki, this one. You click that, you scroll up, and there you see toolchain. So you can see there's a curl command here, which basically just downloads that toolchain to a script called install toolchain.sh. So let's just copy that command without the $sign, obviously, and paste it, execute it. You can see this will download a 420 megabyte shell script, which is quite large. I'll explain more about that once we've downloaded it. So we're done downloading, and you might wonder why we have a 420 megabyte shell script. Well, if you take a look at that, it first of all takes a while to load. And then if we scroll through that, we can see that we have some binary code here inside the shell script. And we also have something called marker here, and if we look for where that's used in the code above, we can see it defines a payload offset right here using that line where it says marker. And then right here you can see it uses this payload offset in order to extract a tar archive. So this is actually an archive that we have embedded into our shell script file here. So let's have a look at that. We can see it's not executable yet, so let's make it executable. What's it called? Install toolchain and execute it. So it asks us for a target directory for the SDK. I'll leave it at the default. Yes, we want to do that. And we're done. It tells us we need to source a certain file, which is the environment setup file here. Every time we want to use the SDK, we'll need that later. Right now we have to worry about setting up qtcreator. So let's continue in the wiki. But I first of all have to run it. Obviously qtcreator, you'll find it. Yep. No, we don't want the tour. Okay, now it says we need to go to Tools, Options, Build and Run. Let's go Tools, Options. Actually, we don't need to go to Build and Run. We need to go to Kits. And there's Qt versions right there. And we need to add the version we just installed with the toolchain. So we click Add here, and we go to this path right here. We can just copy paste it. And right now we're getting an error because we do not have a compiler set up, but that's okay. We want to set the name to this. So we just copy paste that as well. There we go. Now under compilers we need to define two custom compilers. So we click compilers here. We add a GCC compiler for C. Call that GCC remarkable. And the compiler path is given here. So we just copy that, paste that in there. And ABI settings, we will select, where are the settings by the way? There we go. And this is set. If we make that full screen, we can see that's ARM Linux generic ELF 32-bit. So that's okay. We just apply that. And we will continue to the debugger. So there's debuggers. We will add a debugger. Call that. Oops, before we do that, we forgot to add our C++ compiler. So let's do that. Compilers, add GCC C++, and that will be the same path. We will call that remarkable GCC. Oh well, it doesn't matter, right? Remarkable GCC, yeah. Let's call this one remarkable GCC as well. Just to be on the safe side, and we are on 32-bit. Alright, let's apply that as well. Now let's go to debuggers. Let's call that remarkable GDB. And the path is given here. So we will just paste that in, apply, and we have our debugger set. Okay, now next we need to create a Qt kit. So we go to kits, we go to add, and yeah, we can call that remarkable. File system name needs to be empty. Device is generic Linux device. That's device type, right? Yeah. Okay, device is empty. Sysroot will be this path right there. Then our compilers, we will select, of course, the compilers we just created. So remarkable GCC and remarkable GCC. And for the debugger as well, we will set the GDB. Environments, make sure it says no changes to apply. Qt version, we will set it to the Qt version we just created, which is remarkable 562. And Qt mk spec, we're going to use this flag or this, yeah, whatever it is. Just copy paste that in there. CMake settings remain unchanged, and we hit apply. Okay, next step, we can hit OK here, I guess. We need to add a device, so we go to Tools, Options, Devices, and add a generic Linux device. So we go to Tools, Options again, sorry, and Devices right there. We will add a new device, which is a generic Linux device, and start with it. Let's call it Remarkable. IP address, I am connected via USB right now, so for me that is 10.11.99.1, and the username obviously is root. In the next step, it automatically recognizes my ID RSA SSH key, so we don't need to deploy it, it's already deployed. So we can just hit next, and now we can test the configuration. It will say, okay, it won't find rsync. That's okay though, because we have SFTP going, and we can just close that. Alright, that's nice. So we can hit OK here, which I guess will apply the whole thing as well, and quit qtcreator. Okay, now that we have set up qtcreator, next thing we need to do is to deploy draft. Before we can do that, we need to source the environment, environment subscript. So let's just do that. Let's just source, and then you can just copy that. And now we can cd into the draft remarkable folder. You see there's a draft.profile, and we can open that with qtcreator. So qtcreator, and let's open that profile. Okay, and now it says select a kit, so we will gonna select the remarkable, of course, and we will configure project. It'll take some time, it will load up there, and we're good. We can see we have some files in there, which is not that important. We will just hit this play button right there, and then in the bottom you can see the progress. It will build this stuff for us now. And deploy it. And it says creating window, and if we look at the remarkable right now, we can see that the draft launcher is actually running. Don't make the mistake and stop the thing here. Well, you can actually do that. If you stop it here, your remarkable will become unresponsive because draft is no longer working. You can still see it, but it's not doing anything. So what you need to do in this case is SSH into remarkable and reboot it from there. So we're back on the remarkable. We just deployed draft. Now we want the remarkable to boot into draft instead of qtcreator. So how to do that? Well, we SSH into the device again, and then we can use system control, so systemctl, to disable qtcreator. Yeah, systemctl with an M. I want to enable draft. And now if we reboot the remarkable, it should boot into draft. So before we reboot again, let's deploy the other two things, which are button capture and fingerterm. So let's get out the SSH connection. Let's quit out of qtcreator. Let's go over to button capture. Open that. So what button capture allows you to do, no, but thanks, phone. Okay. What button capture allows you to do is to quit applications with a long press of the home button, which is pretty handy because you cannot really quit Xoctl because you're not meant to quit it. So let's just select the remarkable kit here, wait for that object to load. Yeah, we can see the sources and the profile here, and let's just deploy it. Now it says file open for reading. If you look at your remarkable, you won't see anything, but now if I press a button, let's say I press the middle button, it says middle down, and if I release it, it says middle up. And same for the right and left button, so it's reading the button presses. So we can stop that, it will crash, but it didn't do anything right now, so it's okay to crash for it. Okay, next thing, we will quit off that again. We will go to fingerterm and qtcreator, and then open the fingerterm.profile. Select the remarkable here, configure, check that we have a folder structure here, and hit the play button. Now we can see it's doing stuff, creating window, and if we have a look over at the remarkable, we can see fingerterm running, and we can actually use the remarkable's keyboard to type, for example, ls, hit the enter key, and see our files here. So if you want to quit out of that, you just tap in the upper right corner. There's usually a menu icon, which we can't see right now, but if we tap it, we're gonna see the menu. If we yeah, you can see that fingerterm just crashed. That's okay. It will work when we start it via Xoctl. So for now, let's just make sure we are still inside Xoctl, and let's reboot the remarkable. So let's go out of here. Oh yeah, it's running right. Okay, it kind of crashed, but we will just force quit it and SSH into our remarkable and just reboot it. And you can see we are now in draft. So what we can do from here, I'm gonna show you fingerterm one more time. You just tap fingerterm, and it will open up the terminal for you. And now you can also see the menu icon right there. And if you go to the menu icon, well, if you click it, that is, you can see that it says quit right there. If you hit quit, then you are back to draft. And now you can also start Xoctl via that. There we go. Now if we want to quit that, we just hold down the middle button for more than a second and let go. And you can see we are back in draft. So if we were to try that with fingerterm, it does not work. So let's fix that. So first of all, I know we're not in Xoctl anymore. You know my roadmap list right there. We are now at the last point. Yeah, let's just SSH into remarkable. And there's a folder etc draft right there, and there's the configuration file for fingerterm. So let's just configure that. And it says term right here in first of all, let's see what it does. So it says name fingerterm, which is what you see right here, the big one in draft. Then it says desk for description, which is what you see down below. Then it says call, which is what is executed once you press that. And then here in the term, it's a command that is run if you long press the middle button. So in our case we want to kill fingerterm, so this is kill all fingerterm. And then in line 5 we have an image file, so it's, where are we? It's this image, or this image, which is showing. And the images are, well, the images are in icons, right here. So let's reboot one more time. So we are back in draft. Let's now fire up fingerterm one more time. There we go. And now let's long press the middle button, let go, and we're back in draft. So we can see we did all of our 8 points. So we deployed button capture fingerterm, and we set up the fingerterm config for draft. So this concludes this tutorial. I hope this will be helpful for you.